Okay, let's unpack this.
Right.
We've been tracking money in AI for years, but nothing really prepared us for the shockwave in November 2025.
No.
Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, he ends his 4-year operational hiatus and steps back into an active CEO role.
And that move, by itself, that's the signal. I mean, think about it. A titan of that scale doesn't trade retirement for the daily grind unless he is just profoundly convinced that the next, the really historic paradigm shift is happening right now.
And the vehicle for this is Project Prometheus. This isn't just another startup looking for seed funding.
Not at all.
It launched fully formed $6.2 billion in initial financing.
It's an incredible number.
I mean, a unicorn is $1 billion. Prometheus started 6 times bigger before they even had a public product.
And what's fascinating is the mission statement. It's so clear. It tells you exactly where the bet is.
Yeah.
The early 2020s, that was all generative AI, right?
Yeah.
Manipulating symbols, text, code.
Digital stuff.
Exactly. Prometheus is betting the late 2020s will be about physical AI. So systems that manipulate matter, govern energy, and orchestrate, complex engineering in the real world.
So today we are diving deep into the strategy, AI for the physical economy. It's everything from factory floors to orbital space stations. And we spent the last week really tracking that $6.2 billion. And the picture that emerges it's just fascinating.
It really is.
We need to understand where the money is going, why this very unique co-CEO pairing was chosen, and what core technology is bridging the digital mind to the physical world.
Let's start with the war chest, because it's not just a big bank account, it's a strategic weapon.
You could call it, strategic sovereignty? The funding lets them just bypass all the usual scaling problems. And if we break down that $6.2 billion, you can see 3 immediate functions.
The first one is talent. Talent monopolization. The cost of the absolute top-tier AI researchers it's become astronomical.
We're talking hedge fund manager salaries, right?
Well, easily. And Prometheus has been so aggressive, they're creating a literal brain drain. Sources are suggesting they've already acquired nearly 100 researchers.
100? From where?
From the big players. OpenAI, DeepMind, Meta. They are simply buying the best available minds.
And that money also guarantees, crucially, compute sovereignty. Building these huge world models for physical interaction, it takes immense computational muscle.
Right. And this funding isn't just for commodity hardware. It's securing thousands of high-end GPUs. We're talking H100s and the newer Blackwell-class chips.
And that matters because, these aren't just faster video game cards, are they?
No, they're specialized. They're designed specifically for the calculations in modern AI models. And securing that kind of inventory means Prometheus is independent. They don't have the supply constraints that are strangling pretty much every other competitor.
Okay, so the funding buys the brains and the hardware. But the third function is physical infrastructure.
Exactly. You can't train robots for the real world just on a cloud server. This capital is for physical hubs, laboratories, clean rooms, prototyping facilities, and they're putting them in places like San Francisco, London, and Zurich.
So super high cost, but also where all the talent is.
It connects directly to the Bezos philosophy. And that brings us to the leadership architecture, which is so interesting. You have Bezos, the operator.
The Amazon DNA.
Right. Planetary scale logistics, day one thinking. But he combines it with that, the 10,000-year clock mentality.
And that clock philosophy is a huge part of this. It's all about long-term infrastructure. Foundational bets meant to last for centuries, not just a quarter. And building these labs, securing custom compute, that's the epitome of that kind of bet.
Right. But can even $6.2 billion buy you expertise against, entrenched scientific problems? That's where his co-pilot comes in. He's not doing this alone. He's co-CEO with Vik Bajaj.
Bajaj is the scientific cognition here.
Yes. And he's key because Prometheus isn't just building better software. It needs to understand the fundamental laws of the universe. Bajaj is a PhD physicist and chemist.
And his background, it's not just theory. He was at Google X, right? Working on physical systems like wing drones and Waymo cars.
Exactly. And then he was at Verily and Foresight Labs, applying computation to life sciences. This tells you Prometheus isn't just about, optimizing an assembly line. They need systems that understand physics and chemistry at a foundational level.
So what does that mean in practice?
Well, Bajaj's history is in self-driving labs, and that's a perfect window into their ambition. They're using AI to accelerate the scientific method itself.
So not just assembling things, but discovering new things.
Automating the discovery of entirely new materials, new chemical structures. It's the difference between optimizing production and optimizing discovery.
Wow. Okay, so let's pivot to the tech, the bridge that's needed to get from this powerful digital AI to, reliable physical reality.
This is the core challenge. Why has the physical economy, manufacturing, construction been so resistant to this kind of automation?
It's the stakes, isn't it? The accountability.
Totally. A language model can hallucinate some text, and the outcome is, what, amusing? You fix it. But a physical robot on a factory floor cannot hallucinate a movement.
No, that would cause real damage. To itself, the product, people.
Right. You need intelligence that is entirely grounded in reality every single millisecond.
And to solve that grounding problem, Prometheus made a really strategic acquisition in late 2025.
From what we've heard, it was a very discreet dinner where Bezos secured the startup general agents.
The key asset they got wasn't hardware. It was a computer pilot named Ace.
And at first, this was confusing, right? Why would a physical AI company buy an agent that just controls a desktop computer?
Yeah.
The answer is the architecture. It's called video language action, or VLA models.
Okay, break that down.
So general agents had optimized VLA for the digital world. The video was just the pixels on your screen. Language was your command, like find the quarterly report, and action was the clicks and keystrokes to do it.
But Prometheus saw that this structure is, you're saying it's identical to robotics.
It's isomorphic, structurally the same. They realized they'd found the cognitive interface. In the factory, video becomes the camera feed from the robot's eyes.
Language is the instruction, assemble the coolant pump.
And action is the motor torques, the actuator movements. So ACE becomes this highly optimized digital gem. The AI can learn complex planning, tool use, error correction, all in a safe, simulated environment.
Before it ever touches the expensive, dangerous factory floor, that's the bridge.
It is.
And here's the crucial detail that underpins their advantage: latency. For real-time physical control, speed is everything.
It's the absolute prerequisite. If the robot takes even a second to process what it sees and decide what to do, it's useless.
It's already too late.
Yeah, and the internal benchmarks for ACE, specifically the model ACE Control Small, it clocked in at an astonishing 324 milliseconds of latency.
Okay, put that number in perspective for us. 324 milliseconds is...
Faster than the blink of an eye.
Wow. And the competition.
Well, let's contrast that. A model like OpenAI's Operator sits at over 6 seconds. That's 6,385 milliseconds.
6 seconds versus a third of a second. If a robot is trying to grab a part on a conveyor belt, 6 seconds means it misses it entirely.
And probably causes a collision. 324 milliseconds is the difference between working and, well, breaking everything. That speed is the engine of this whole thing.
So with the capital and the low latency tech, we can now see their deployment strategy. And it starts with 2 verticals tied directly to the Bezos ecosystem.
Starting with space. The link with Blue Origin is profound and symbiotic.
What are they building?
The orbital blue-collar worker. Bezos' vision is millions of people living and working in space, but human astronauts are incredibly fragile and expensive to support off-planet.
So you need autonomous robots.
You need them for everything.
Oh.
For the in-space assembly of these massive stations delivered by New Glenn, and for orbital manufacturing.
Things like growing perfect protein crystals or Z-bland fiber optics.
Exactly.
Wait, what are Z-bland fiber optics?
Great question. It's a superior type of fiber optic cable. It can transmit data way more efficiently than the usual silica glass. But the catch is, to grow the crystal structure perfectly, you need zero gravity. On Earth, gravity introduces impurities. So it's an impossible on-Earth process that needs autonomous, precise workers in space.
Which all feeds back to the autonomy requirement. Because in deep space, you have latency.
Seconds, even minutes. You can't directly teleoperate a repair bot on the moon. The robot has to use its world model to simulate outcomes and make its own decisions. It has to be self-governing.
Okay, so from orbit back to Earth, the main manufacturing proving ground is automotive, with Rivian.
Right, where Bezos has a substantial investment.
So Rivian is the beta customer.
The ideal one. Prometheus is trying to create the iFactory, a flexible production line with generalist robots. Historically, automation is rigid. You change a car design, you have to reprogram every single robot.
A huge, expensive process.
A huge process. The goal here is for a robot to literally look at a new CAD drawing and instantly understand how to assemble that new part without explicit reprogramming.
And that creates the virtuous cycle.
The one Bezos perfected with AWS. Prometheus robots build Rivian trucks. That real-world data trains the next, better version of the Prometheus model.
Which lowers Rivian's costs, which increases the value of Bezos' investment.
Exactly. Rivian gets cheaper cars, and Prometheus gets an irreplaceable stream of real-world data.
And before any of this happens, the product has to be engineered, which brings us to the hardware layer. The ACE agent is perfect for automating CAD/CAM tasks, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's engineering recursion. Bezos is also an investor in Tenstorrent,
The RISC-V chip company.
which is an open-source architecture challenging the big proprietary chip makers. So the logical extension is Prometheus develops the AI tools run by ACE that design the next generation of custom hardware that will then run the Prometheus AI.
They control the entire stack,
Right.
from discovery to physical execution. It's a huge thesis, but they are not alone.
No, this field is highly contested.
So let's quickly outline the competition because their strategy is a direct counterpoint to what everyone else is doing.
Okay, so first, Bezos himself is an investor in physical intelligence. But that seems to be a financial investment in software licensing. Prometheus is operational, vertically integrated.
Software, hardware, labs, the whole thing.
Right. Then you have a direct rival in Bajaj's domain, Periodic Labs. They're focused on the AI scientist and material discovery.
But the resource gap is immense.
It is. Periodic raised a very respectable $300 million. But it pales in comparison to $6.2 billion.
And then, of course, you have the incumbents, Tesla's Optimus.
Which is very focused on the humanoid form factor. And NVIDIA, which is a critical supplier of simulation tools like Isaac Sim, Prometheus is playing a different game. Less about the humanoid form, more on generalized, low-latency industrial cognition that can inhabit any form factor.
So if we zoom out, the macroeconomic implications here are just massive.
Huge. The first consequence is likely re-industrialization. For decades, manufacturing moved offshore because of labor costs.
It was cheaper. Simple as that.
But physical AI is a deflationary force on labor. If a generalist robot costs the same to operate in Detroit as it does in Shenzhen,
The incentive for offshoring just vanishes.
it vanishes. This could enable a massive reshoring of critical manufacturing back to the West. It aligns perfectly with the current geopolitical trends towards supply chain resilience.
But we have to be candid about the societal challenge. The stated goal is eliminating dangerous, dull tasks, but the economic reality is substitution.
Large-scale substitution. Prometheus directly targets blue-collar manufacturing and logistics jobs, but also, critically, the engineering and technical support jobs that maintain traditional automation.
Right. It's a displacement of both physical and technical labor, and that is the defining economic tension of this whole revolution.
Project Prometheus is, ultimately, it's a declaration of intent backed by just unmatched capital. The digital revolution that Bezos largely authored was just the prelude.
Right. The three elements are aligned: the capital, the dual leadership of the operator and the scientist, and the low-latency VLA technology. It's all designed to restructure the material world.
And if they succeed, it will do for the physical world what Amazon Web Services did for the digital world. It'll provide the scalable, intelligent infrastructure that every other industry builds on.
The core hurdle, as we've said, is bridging that digital mind to the physical body with low latency, and they've secured the VLA tech to do it. So here's the final thought for you to consider as we wrap up this deep dive. Given that Prometheus has solved this immediate low latency problem, what current physical industry, agriculture, construction, or mining will be the first to experience that kind of rapid, zero marginal cost transformation that the internet brought to retail?